Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, guys. And today we are going to talk about a very important topic, that is about mortgage versus cash buying. This is especially very much applicable in countries abroad, although in Pakistan these things doesn't apply. But in Dubai or real estate or in other markets abroad, mortgage and cash buying are one of the main things. A lot of people prefer mortgage over buying cash buying, and let's find out the reasons for that. For this example, we are just going to take fixed amount of money, that is about $3 lakh and $300,000. We're not going to count for any of the capital gains initially, और उसके अलावा हम इसके अंदर जो है फिक्स्ड रेंटल इनकम भी इसके अंदर हम इनकॉर्पोरेट करेंगे. एंड जनरल इट्स अबाउट if you have something like in Dubai where you're getting good rental returns, so how cash buying versus mortgage is going to pay up. So let's come down and let's start with the cash purchase. So let's suppose you have spent $300,000 on a property which is value of $300,000, and you have purchased one unit. This is on a cash payment, and let's suppose that it is some kind of a guaranteed rental unit which is going to give you rentals day one, and approximately at an average where Dubai has a 7% rental return. Some projects are offering 8% rental return, so we are going to say 8% for the first 3 years, which is going to be 24,000 per year. Now, however, in the next, total 3-year returns will be $72,000. Now, from 4th to 25th year, we are going to calculate at 7%, and we are not going to incorporate, increasing rentals into that. We're just going to, in this calculation, the first one, we're just going to talk about a fixed 7% rental on the actual property value of $300,000, and we will imagine that no price appreciation or capital gain has been implemented as far throughout the 25 years time period. Now let's see where we stand after 25 years. Total rental returns in 25 years are going to be 534,000 USD, and what is our gross wealth at that time frame is property value stays at 300,000, rental returns 534,000, and our total wealth accumulated is 834,000 USD. So we invested 300,000 and we have a total wealth of 834,000 after 25 years. Obviously that incorporates that we have a consistent flow of rental income coming in. Obviously it doesn't look much, but you have to understand that there are other calculations which are coming up which are going to account for capital gains and rental increments as well. So the first one's gone. Now coming to the second one. But if we do the same buying but on a mortgage, we're going to find out there is a lot of difference. For example, now the property value is 300,000, but because we're buying it on a mortgage of 30% advance payment, we are able to save $30,000 over here and only spend $270,000, and we are going to buy 3 units, not one anymore. We have a 8% rental return, that is 24,000 per year. That's the same. Mortgage payment is 16,212 per annum against one rental unit. So against total returns per year 72,000, total mortgage per year 48,636, and year 1 to 3 rental returns are 70,092, and 4 to 25 years mortgage is around about 1,699,200. This is what we have to pay, but obviously this amount is being deducted from our rental income. So 4 to 25 years rental returns are 1.3 million minus 1 million from 1.386 million, and we come up with 316,000 USD as our rental savings from 4 years to 25 years, plus the first 3 years where we have $70,000 saved. So what is the total wealth after 25 years, considering the same principles that we have no capital gains, and we're just talking about paying off the mortgages, and we're just talking about saving the rental income which we have in excess. So gross wealth accumulation, property value right now is 900,000 because we purchased 3 apartments. Now we have rental return which is 386,000, which is lower that in case of the cash payment. However, once you consider the total wealth, we are round about somewhere like 1.286 million rather than 134,000 in the cash purchase mode. Now, this doesn't seem very attractive though, right? If you spend 300,000 and you are just getting 1.2 million in 25 years, but obviously there are a lot of reasons behind it, because we have not incorporated capital gains yet. So in the second calculation, we are actually going to start incorporating the capital gains, and let's see how it goes. So let's come to cash purchase with capital gains. Property value 300,000, same 3% average growth is 9,000. So 3% is a normal average growth, very minimal. However, just for the sake of calculation, worst come worst scenario, if we consider that at an average we grow by 3%, which is right next to impossible, but for the sake of calculation, 25 years capital gain is just 225,000. Gross wealth accumulation is 3,534, same rental returns which we have, but now we are around 1 million as far as cash purchase is concerned. However, it's going to majorly affect on our mortgage purchase, because capital gain, now we are getting 3% on 3 apartments. So let's see what happens there. So once we come here, property value is 900,000, 3% average growth per annum 27,000, and 25 years growth is 675,000, and gross wealth accumulation this time now comes down to 1.9 million or closer to 2 million. Again, you see, this is not very attractive considering this is a 25-year cycle, but what are we doing wrong? So let me tell you what exactly we are doing wrong. In order to understand what we were doing wrong in our previous calculations, we have to take help of this Excel sheet. Now this Excel sheet covers almost all the aspects, starting from an 8% rental return which comes to 7% rental return. It also adds up a 5% capital gains, which is actually very normal when it comes to real estate. And if you look at all the calculations all around the world, you will see that 5% appreciation is generally very average. One more thing which we have missed out is the compound. The compound means that a property which you purchase at 300,000 today is not going to be 300,000 in 10 years. And the rental returns which is going to be calculated after 10 years is supposed to be on the actual property price on that day, right? And by that formula, every year your property prices is going to increase by 5 or 10%, and for the safe side we're going to keep it just 5%, and we're going to see how that affects once we compound everything and we find out what is the internal rate of return once we invest the same amount of money in the same kind of property, getting the same amount of rental returns. What do we get at the end of the day, and how much wealth do we make? So guys, in the first case scenario, which is on top on your screen, you can see we invested 300,000 with 8% 3 years rental returns and then 7% rental returns for the next like 25 years, and 5% regular growth, just for the sake of calculation. Obviously there will be cycles in between. We come down to the final conclusion that we have accumulated around 1 million in rentals, and our property after 25 years is approximately also 1 million in worth. So in total we have generated a wealth of 2.1 million by investing just an amount of 300,000. This is probably the time where real estate is now making sense to you, right? But you know, it's going to make much more sense once we come to the second part, which is about mortgages. Now what happens in mortgages is actually you're spending 270,000 and you're getting a rental return of 75,600 per annum, right? Your mortgage payments are 38,225. This is for actual calculations. We calculated over a period of 25 years at 3.50%, right? Which is normally how that mortgage interest rate is these days, most part of the world. So every year we're going to have an incremental capital gain of 5%. So, you know, after 25 years, you will see that our net capital asset is at 3 million, exactly almost the same, which it's 1 million, but because there we only had 1 unit, now we had 3 units. So our net gain in terms of capital gains is 3 million. And because we have been accumulating rest on 3 apartments all along, and on appreciation of the unit, and the mortgage we were paying was actually just for 900,000. So in later years, the rental returns are going to increase manifold and we are going to end up with route about 2.2 million in rental returns as well. So we excel in the capital gains, and we excel in the rental returns, and we end up with 5.2 million US dollars instead of 2 million US dollars if we invest the same amount of money in the same period of time with almost the same statistics, almost the same growth, not almost, actually the same growth model, actually the same rental returns, and we end up making a lot more money once we have used the mortgage option. However, guys, if you are going to think that there are going to be no capital gains in the next 25 years, and there are going to be no rental returns in the next 25 years, then I can't really help that, because that means that's the end of the world. And it doesn't matter, it will never matter wherever your property is, it will still be zero. Anyways, so coming down to our investment, it is much more beneficial and profitable if it's invested in real estate markets such as Dubai, because Dubai offers you no taxes on capital gains and no taxes on rental returns. So everything you're making is your own money, and it's in US dollars. And unlike other countries where you will probably be paying, gains on your rentals and stuff and everything, if you invest the same amount of money in Dubai and you take the rentals and pay off the mortgages, it's like a lot more useful. And actually, we have calculated the internal rate of return in this matter. It is 19.24%, and in the cash payment it's just 12.59%. And the 19.24% rental return is exactly something which we have always suggested as a minimum capital gains which you should be able to get while investing into real estate. So it makes a lot of sense to me. If you are one of those guys who is okay with mortgages and stuff, this is the way to go. That's all, guys. Take care, and Allah Hafiz.